welcome to our Sunday meditation service. It's so nice to see so many people in this room, my goodness. And it's nice to have our local participants, and also we have a big young people's retreat, so welcome to all of the retreat participants as well. Today we will share our seated meditation practice as well as scripture chanting, and then we will have a Dharma talk by Reverend Eunju Nam. And we'll also have some sharing from two retreat participants. So we'll have a sharing from Jamie Pineda and Bernie Trainer. So if we want to let's take just one breath together, just one big breath, so we can arrive. And then if you will join me in bowing practice. So everyone could please rise. And you can just stand wherever you can find a spot behind your cushion. So we're going to do a standing bowing practice. I bow in gratitude to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite beneficence of nature and the universe. I bow in gratitude to the grace of parents, honoring the beneficence from parents, ancestors, and all those who have a nurturing role in my life. I bow in gratitude to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. I bow in gratitude to the grace of laws, which guides us, protects us, and promotes justice. And please take a moment to turn and greet your neighbor Buddhas with your beautiful smiles. And then you may be seated. Now, Patty Wanji-jung will lead us and give us more instruction on the method of sitting meditation.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in. Grab all your tension and breathe it out. Open up your chest and heart. Stretch up tall and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms, then allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Danchan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose and to the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in your mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Danjin breathing center. If you continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation, in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
When it comes to meditation, there are many forms. Please open up your booklets to page 4 and 5 for Sutra Chanting Meditation led by Reverend MJ.
이런 쌍방 이런 이스라엘 사마디 beyond words and speech again percent transcending being and non-being the origin heaven and earth parents fellow beings hello the true nature of Buddha's enlightened master son enlightened people and sentient beings zero manifest as prosperment semi-permanence view as permanent zero non-falls into infinity world that is ever abiding tenuous just as it is viewed as impermanent one unfolds into infinity world cycle of formation duration decay and extinction of the universe and the birth aging endless and death of beings according to how we use our minds and bodies in the four forms of birth transform through the six realms of existence progress or regressing with grace arising from harm or harm from grace therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly modeling ourselves after Iron Dharma Kaya Buddha by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly and using our minds and bodies skillfully thus progress then regressing receiving grace rather than harm until we attain the great empowerment of will one and become one with the nature of will one. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion when deeply practiced Prajna Paramita realize that all five aggregates are empty and thus became free from all suffering and distress. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is empty. Emptiness is from the same issue of sensations, perceptions, impersistent consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear unattainted. Pure increase or decrease in emptiness. No form, sensations, no perceptions, no persist, no consciousness. eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind, consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, no extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no past, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. Bodhisattva relies on prajna paramita, therefore the mind has hindrance without any hindrance, no fears exist free from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, future rely on prajna paramita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassing equal mantra which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is soon also proclaim the prajna paramita mantra. We say gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awake. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, para, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, para, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhisattva.
Let's take a moment to adjust our seats. Raise your arms up, stretch a little bit, and lean to one side and the other side. Twist your back a little to the left and then to the right, looking over the shoulder. And then if we could all turn our attention to Reverend Nam and bring your palms together in front of our hearts, our open hearts, and greet her.
Good morning, Buddhas. The founding Master Sutte-san was in the prime Dharma Master's room when a group curious about Won Buddhism came to a visit. They bowed and asked, "Where is your esteemed religion's Buddhas enshrined?" The founding master said, "Our Buddha has just gone out. So if you would like to see them, please wait a moment." Not understanding what he meant, the visitors were puzzled. A little later, when it was lunchtime, a group of workers, of course his disciples, returned from the field carrying their farm tools. The founding master pointed them and said, "They are all the Buddhas of our house." The visitors were even more puzzled about what he meant. If the founding master, Sutte-san, were here and asked the same question in this Dharma hall at this moment, he might answer, Those seated here are the Buddhas of our house. During the weekend retreat, all the retreat participants, have you ever encountered your Buddha within? Yes. Sutte-san refers to his disciples as a Buddha. Was that disciples indeed a Buddha who attained great enlightenment or not? It is necessary to understand what Sutte-san means by the term Buddha here. He was very practical and pragmatic person. So the reason Sutte-san could refer to his disciples returning from the farm field as a Buddha can be found in the very interesting story. I'm going to share that with you. While seeking enlightenment, Sutte-san observed the people in the traditional Buddhist temple paying respect and making wishes to the in front of the Buddha statues. Wondering if there was any significance to the Buddha statue, he struck the Buddha's cheek when no one was around. So returning home, he went to bed thinking he would be face consequences for striking the statues. However, upon waking the next day to find nothing had happened, he realized that Buddha's statue was not significant. This is a paradigm shift from considering the Buddha statue as a Buddha to the realize that each of us has the power to bestow blessings and inflict harms one another, brought about the profound transformation. Therefore, in this perspective, there's no being in the universe that is not a Buddha. Even the smallest insect has the power to bless or harm us. Therefore, there's no reason for the disciples who worked in the farm field to not be seen as the Buddhas in Sutte-san's eyes. Of course, the original meaning of the Buddha is an enlightened one who fully realized the truth of the universe. However, the undeniable fact is that we all beings have the same Buddha nature, whether one has fully realized the truth, partially realized it, or lived completely unaware. If we were to easily understand the concept of the Buddha nature, it is akin to the seed of the Buddha. Clearly, the seed holds the potentials to become a Buddha. Yet, it can remain as a seed forever until it sprouts, grows, blossoms into flower, and bears a fruit. Therefore, nurturing our Buddha nature well is a crucial to truly become a Buddha who has realized the ultimate truth. Engaging practices such as meditation, listening to Dharma talks, and conversing with fellow practitioners are favorable conditions for the seed to grow. However, if we engage in such an intensive retreat for 3 days a year and neglect to care for our Buddha nature for the remaining 362 days, while better than doing nothing, significant transformation will be difficult to achieve. Because our Buddha nature is never absent for even a single moment, the essential dharmas of daily practice, which involves seeking and nurturing that Buddha, is the way for everyone or anyone to live as a living Buddha at all times and in all places. The essential dharmas of daily practice begins with this following phrase: the mind ground is originally free from disturbance. Therefore, The beginning of your daily practice starts with the recognize the mind that is originally free from disturbances. Have you ever experienced and understood this mind without disturbances? When I first began my practice, I couldn't distinguish between these disturbances and the mind without disturbances. I believe you may have this similar experience with me, such a moment. When there is a fan noisy in the room, and you may not even notice it until the fan suddenly stops. And you realize, oh, there's a fan was running. Our ego is always as noisy as a running fan, constantly creating all sort of stories and bubbling noises. One effective method to reduce the volume of this bubbling inner voice and bring it into a single sound is chanting meditation practice. Chanting meditation involves repeating the name of the Buddha or a designated phrase like "We are one, we are whole," chanted last night, while concentrating wholeheartedly on the sound itself, thereby letting go of other distractions. When the ego, which was bubbling inside us, focuses on the sound of Buddha's name, it becomes calm. In that moment, the Buddha within is awakened. Traditionally, reciting the name of the Amita Buddha in Pure Land Buddhism was the way of calling upon the Amita Buddha, wishing to be born in the Western Pure Land after death. However, Sotaesan taught us this chanting meditation practice to enlighten the Buddha of infinite light and life within all of us. Not only through this chanting meditation, but also through all the practice we have engaged in during this retreat, such as sitting meditation, walking meditation, moving meditation, and tea meditation, we can always experience and scattered mind becomes unified and tranquil when we focus it on single object. This is the starting point of living Buddha. Consequently, experience this moment of tranquility throughout life and make them as our default state is the key. We can continue to experience this Buddha moment through small actions in our lives. It is not difficult. If you set aside a time every day for sitting meditation, that's the best, awesome. If it's not, even if not, as long as we can be fully present in this every moment of our lives, we can experience Buddha moment anytime. When you wake up in the morning, you can feel the pillow touching your head and the blankets covering you. Or when you drink a cup of tea, you can savor its aroma and taste. While brushing your teeth, you can feel the toothbrush touching your teeth and gum. Even now, if you gently close your mouth and gently close your eyes and focus on the breath as you breathe in and breathe out, you can feel the tranquility within. And the tranquil mind is your original Buddha nature. So remember, we have never been anything other than the Buddhas for even a single moment, as long as we do not forget about it. However, until we become fully enlightened Buddhas, we still cling to the delusions of self by drawing the boundary around me, which causes disturbances to arise from the tranquil mind. like noisy fan that is always on. We may have become so much familiar with these disturbances in our mind. But as you build up the new connection more frequently with the mind free from the disturbances throughout the meditation practice, you will begin to observe disturbances more clearly than before. This is why some people claim that meditation makes their minds more troubled. But it is because they have confront mind they were previously unaware or unavoidable. However, if you do not encounter that disturbances, you will always perceive these disturbances as your original nature instead of your Buddha nature. To speak on uncomfortable truths, nothing that arises in your mind happens by chance. It's just that because we have lived our lives by using our minds and body without any attention, unaware of the seed are sown in the field of our minds. When the sensory conditions is proper enough, the seeds that we sown will inevitably sprout into disturbances. The root of these disturbances is delusions. And when the delusions manifest as disturbances, it leads us to do unwholesome actions. These unwholesome actions then become seed for new disturbances in the future, perpetuating the cycle of endlessly. Then how do we eradicate these disturbances? Firstly, we need to cultivate the mind without disturbances so that we can clearly recognize disturbances. At this point, there is no need to resent or reject disturbances or feel disappointed, thinking, I must not be a Buddha. Instead, we should recognize the presence of disturbances, finding the delusion, which is the root of them, and then just pull out the root. If the root is pulled out, the weed cannot sprout seed again. I would like to introduce a situation happens in the lawn at my temple, which is parallel with the happens in our minds. I worked at the Washington Temple, and we have a spacious lawn. At this time of the year, the grass hasn't fully grown yet, and there are patches of the wild onion. Do you know wild onion looks like? Wild onion weeds popping up here and there. Normally, when the grass is thriving, this weed get mowed along with the grass. But now only the weeds are growing, which doesn't look good. So we've had this wild onion every year, but this year they spread almost all over the lawn. So I was thinking, I should quickly mow down those weeds with lawnmower. But my head minister, Reverend Shim, suggested me us dig them out with the shoveling instead. So my mind became disturbed. It was because the timing with the wild onion coincided with the busy period when my mind was preoccupied due to the insufficient preparation for this Dharma talk. So I had many thoughts about wanting to pretty well at the One Dharma Center. I'm going to give an awesome Dharma talk. But for the young people's retreat. So as the date for the retreat approached, my mind became overwhelmed with the presence of the performing pressure to performing well. So I could only feel tension and make it difficult to write the talk. In this situation, where Dharma talk preparation was not properly done. And when the suggestion to weed the wild onion was made, resistance arose within me, thinking, no, now is not the time to weed the wild onion. I should write a Dharma talk. However, the weeding had begun without other ministers. So I have to come out, and I couldn't refrain from the participating the collective effort. So I went outside and started weeding the wild onions. Some of you know that to weed the wild onion with the shoveling, we have to dig the soil around them with the shovel, and then flip the soil over to pull out the weed underneath. So it was an easy task. But as we continued doing it step by step, I found it enjoyable, oddly, and felt the sense of unity with the work. As I simply pulled out the wild onion one by one, my worry about the Dharma talk also subsided. And before I knew it, one side of the lawn was clean without any wild onion. If I had just cut the wild onion growing on the top without removing the root, next year, even more wild onions would have spread, turning the lawn into the wild onion field. So realizing how foolish my thought and simply mowing them with lawnmower was made me feel ashamed. As the conflicts, the distractions disappeared, I realized that digging of wild onion was not just a work, but a daily practice. Through this daily practice of digging of wild onions, I discovered the principle of the mind practice, and I'm grateful to be able to share this with you all today as my own experience. However, there are still many wild onions left. So after this retreat, I have to come back to the temple and dig it more. So for the Dharma friends from the Maryland, there's a great opportunity for practice. So come to the temple and dig up the wild onion together. Is there any volunteers? The founding master visited the temple ground himself at the Seoul temple and said, I had two reasons for visiting the temple ground today. One was to set an example to the temple managers always to pay close attention to neatness of the temple ground. The other way to demonstrate that when we do not examine our minds regularly, distracted thoughts will arise right before our eyes. Just as we neglect the temple ground for even a short while. By demonstrating that mind practice and the act of pulling weed have the same intent, I'm emphasized that you may assess your mind practice by pulling weeds and may pull weeds as the part of your practice, so that you may keep clean both temple grounds and your mind practice. So that you may keep mind practice, I ask that you constantly bear in mind these two intents so that you may not neglect my original objective. In this way, by illuminating daily life through your mind practice, I come to realize that everything is grace. I can feel grateful for. We usually feel grateful to things that we like, but we tend to reject or resent things that we don't like. However, through daily practice, whether good or bad, high or low, everything becomes an opportunity to awaken and nurture your inner Buddha, and thus become grace. Then I come to understand that the difficulties in my life is not the punishment, but rather manifestation of the compassion of the Buddha, guiding us to grow through these disturbances. If you can accept everything in your life as a grace, our existence will shine even more brightly with the Buddha's light. Then we can fully restore our original Buddha, who is one with the universe. Through constant practice like this, although everything in this universe has different names, it is not separate from each other. You come to realize that you are another version of me, becoming a clear Buddha with equanimity, wisdom, and compassion. Do you want to become a Buddha? Thank you, MJ. I would like to conclude this talk with the words of Master Suttesan in response to his disciples' question about how to attain enlightenment. Do you know the answer? And he said, it's like feeding a goat. It's like feeding a goat. Rather than overfeeding it all at once, you carefully select the feeding process and quantity. Naturally, the goats grow big, give a birth to offspring, produce milk, and benefit people. There's no special or mysterious method to become a Buddha. There's no shortcuts. There's only the path of constant seeking, nurturing, and living as a Buddha through this practice in your daily life. Since you have already embarked on the path of becoming a Buddha through this retreat, do not step back and just let us just keep moving forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Nam. It was such a full and beautiful and wise talk. Thank you so much. And you are all the Buddhas of this house. I love that. So let us please open our booklets to page 6 to read the essential dharmas of daily practice. One, the mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2, the mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3, the mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4, let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5, let us turn resentment into gratitude. 6, let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7, let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8, let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9, let us turn lack of public spirit into an eagerness to serve the good of all. So now we'll have a sharing by 2 of our retreat participants. So if you could please welcome first Jamie. Where's Jamie?
Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? I just wanted to thank everyone and all the One Dharma staff for once again welcoming us to another wonderful Young People's Retreat. This is probably my 6th time in as many years coming here, and it's always an amazing opportunity to just supercharge my grace and the cultivation of the Buddha nature. And it's always a pleasure seeing everybody as the faces become more and more familiar. So I just wanted to share a few things I learned. One of the interesting things that I learned, that I probably learned at one point but forgot, was that Soto-san didn't have a master, which he became enlightened, but not having a master is a fascinating concept, you know? And it makes me reflect on how just the natural process by which our Buddha natures awaken within us, and how we can cultivate it no matter where we are, no matter, as long as we stay consistent with our practice and our dedication, just as Soto-san did. And during this time, I was also reflecting on how meditation is a timeless and placeless practice, but at the same time, it seems to cultivate ever more powerfully when we practice together, you know? Which is such a fascinating paradox. It's timeless and placeless, but when we're together at the same time, it manifests more strongly and deeply. And so I want to keep imploring myself and each of us to practicing together so that we can continue to cultivate and go along our natural path. I wrote something else down. Oh, it was also fascinating how during our Dharma talk for the essential dharmas of daily practice, the one that seemed to resonate with most of us was number 5, let us turn resentment into gratitude. And that was one of the essential dharmas that personally resonated with myself as well. And I just wanted to frame, I want to have a frame of this in my bedroom. That way I can just keep on looking at it and you know, living these during my daily life, because yeah, it's about the consistency, and it's the daily practice that we can continue to grow and manifest that Buddha nature, just as Eunju mentioned. And I think I've reached my time. But yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jimmy. Let's please welcome Bernie as well.
Hey everybody. This retreat has been an awesome experience for me. I really appreciate the quality time that I got to spend here with every one of my Dharma friends. I am grateful to have met and hung out with my old and new Dharma friends. I'm grateful to have met so many like-minded and caring and compassionate individuals dedicated to their practice. This has been very inspiring for me. I enjoyed every minute of my time here at the One Dharma Center. That includes the train ride to Brooklyn and the car ride to the Dharma Center. I have a strong knowing that I have grown from this experience. The examples of other selflessness, kindness, and generosity and compassion is a testament to all of our practices. The main thing that I learned is something that the head Dharma master said, saying that he knows that we are all capable of changing the world through our practices. We hold the power, and I am grateful for the inspiration to continue to grow in my own practice. I thank you a thank you, and thank you all my peers for being here with me and sharing this in this great weekend with me.
Thank you both so much. You're so brave. And it gives us hope for the future. Well, that's lovely. Thank you. So, let us... actually, I have 2 announcements. So we have more retreats upcoming. So there is our journaling as a way to nurture inner peace. This is a practice of self-love. So this is our, this is in April 11th through Sunday, April 14th. So this is with Reverend Grace, Dr. Reverend Grace Song from the Philadelphia Temple, and Reverend Ginger from here. And this is not just a regular journaling. This is journaling. This is a mind practice specific to Won Buddhism. So you may want to check it out. There's a little video that you might be able to catch online if you want to know more. And then there is a Memorial Day weekend retreat, which is Your Life is Your Practice. And this is May 24th through May 27th. So keep those in mind. And then we will close today by singing the morning prayer song. If you can open your booklet to page 9. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world. Thank you for your practice today. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day.
So the closing program for the young people retreat starts from 11:25. So you can just